Well, we are 11 weeks now from the show week, and I wanted to record something about the discoveries that my friend Jean and Halina have made as a result of what we've been posting on the Crisis Siberia Facebook page, which is a group for people who have an interest in or who are related to the 130,000 Polish people, at least that figure, who were deported to Kazakhstan and Siberia, Uzbekistan, by the Soviet Union when they invaded eastern Poland as part of the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact that divided Poland up between Hitler and Stalin. So Halina read some of the material that I've been posting about the play, an announcement, and it jogged a thought, and that thought led to this newspaper article, which she posted up for me as a message a few days ago. And we can see on the first line of that article, it's celebrating a 60-year marriage between Bronisław and Leokadia Mazurewicz, my great-grandparents. It's, even as I describe that, it brings a shiver to my spine. That the writing of this play and its being produced has directly led to my finding so much information that we're 99% sure is accurate. So Leokadia and Bronisław came from a place near Leningrad, St. Petersburg as it then was, Ushtaki. And there are two places called Ushtaki in that region, one in Belarus and one in the Leningrad Oblast, near St. Petersburg. And I always thought it was the one in Belarus. But it turns out it almost certainly isn't. It's the one in St. Petersburg. How do we know that? Because it says in this newspaper article that Leokadia and Bronisław had 5 children, I think, 4 or 5 children. And 2 sons. 2 of those children were sons, and they died in the war. Doesn't say any more than that. Witold is one of their children, and Witold is one of those who died. And they came across to Wilno, which is exactly the area where my birth mother was born, in 1922. Why 1922? Because that was the year that Lenin died, and he was succeeded as General Secretary of the Communist Party, and thus the effective ruler of the Soviet Union, Stalin. So my family, not unreasonably one supposes, decided to move from St. Petersburg, and for some reason decided to head west and settled in Wilno, Vilnius as it now is. So Bronisław and Leokadia are the parents of my grandfather, Witold, who disappeared and almost certainly died in 1940, but we're now getting tantalizingly close to finding out how and where he died and where his remains may be. Because, first of all, let's backtrack slightly and pay tribute to 2 other sons of Leokadia and Bronisław. One of those sons, of whom there is a great deal of information, and in fact a YouTube clip of him talking, is Edward Mazurewicz, who is the younger son of the 3. And he was born in 1922, so the family moved the year he was born, perhaps precipitated by him being born and particularly vulnerable to the upheaval that was going on in the Soviet Union at that time. Anyway, that's my timer to remind me to say I've been going on too long. 5 minutes. Let me see if I can do this in another 2. So Edward Mazevich became a priest, spookily exactly as I've written it in the play without knowing that one of the characters is the second son, and he's encouraged to join the priesthood. Very strange how that... Well, I mean, it's not that strange, is it? Because second sons were often persuaded that the church would be a good route. And he led the most extraordinary life. He was very well thought of, Edward, it turns out. As we discovered a lot of information about him, too much to convey here. The headlines, I suppose, would be that he was captured by the Nazi invaders during the Operation Barbarossa, when Hitler invaded his erstwhile friend Stalin. And Edward was deported to a prison camp at Frankfurt am Main, where he survived the war and then led the most incredible life. And he'd have been 100 this year. I believe he died in 1967. Not sure, but that could be confirmed in a few weeks, as I shall narrate. The other brother, who with Witold died during the war, is named Zygmunt. And Zygmunt, very sadly, at the beginning of the Nazi invasion of Poland, of Eastern Poland, was arrested by the Gestapo and sent first of all to a prison in southern Poland, and then transferred to Auschwitz. And he was amongst the very first, a dubious and ugly honour, amongst the very first prisoners in the Auschwitz prison camp and its sub-camps. All I know from the beautiful research that Halina and Jean have done is that he died round about 1943. We don't know how. So there's a whole journey of exploration to go on there. Very young man. He was a farmer in St. Petersburg before the family came over. And so, or he's recorded as being a farmer, which may not be the same thing. Recorded in the Auschwitz camp records. He'd have been in his late 20s. Witold is the elder son. Zygmunt is the next youngest, and Edward is the youngest son. So he's not the second, he's the youngest son. And I'm going to finish with this because I'm now nearly at 10 minutes. I apologise. But what's adding to the amazing, mysterious miracle of these discoveries on the wave that's been caused in my life by the writing of this play is that there may be a living relative. It turns out that Leocadia and Bronisław had a daughter whose name we don't know yet, but we do know, or with about 90% certainty can infer, that her daughter is still alive. And I can say very little about that, but I don't want to name her because she hasn't agreed to that. We think she's about 70. We think she's now living in Malmö, in Sweden. And I've written to her. And I think I better stop. One, because this is incredibly emotional. And you don't deserve to see an old man emotional. And two, because it's tempting fate to say any more, I think, at this point. But once again, let me try and broaden this out. First, how amazingly grateful I am to Halina, to Jean, and how amazingly grateful I am to Second Thoughts Drama Group in Stratford, who let me put this play on. And if I hadn't put the play on, I wouldn't have made these discoveries. What more lies yet to be discovered, both about my family and about yours.